Courtesy of a power cut in Mexico, you're getting 2 videos from us today. That's right, 2 for the price of none, because we don't charge you anything either. So, yeah, welcome back for part 2, Baloo. We're going to have a look at some altcoins. We looked at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and EOS in the previous video. So if you're only interested in those, go and check that video out. I'm sure you've already watched it. But, yeah, we're going to have a look at some alts here, a few jokes around some of the shit coins, and let you know what we think the charts are doing. So take it away, sir.
Sounds good. So the first 2 that I want to take a look at actually came as a request from you, Sean. So I'm assuming that there's some fundamentals behind what I'm looking at here, but I will just share my screen.
Oh, you just put the pressure on me there.
Well, I mean, you requested them for some reason, right?
Because I'm holding them below. We're going live again. We're going to get the audience to let us know what they want, but that was me doing that this week in our recorded show. We will be live next time, by the way, people. We're just wrapping our heads around a new bit of software here, so we thought we'd record it just in case we made fools of ourselves.
All right, so I've got Kusama ready to go here. I'm going to take a look at it on the 8-hour chart. So it's kind of an interesting chart. You know, we got a huge rally. Anytime there's a rally and that rally concludes, that's where you need to start your analysis. You know, we had a huge run up and we got a nice healthy reaction down. The measurement of the reaction is kind of juicy. That's what you want to see. You want us to get back down to reality, get that. So a 50% retracement, that's the 0.5 fib for those that do the fib retracements. Very healthy move back down that kind of shakes out all the people that had no business being there in the first place because they were only there to make money chasing the hype. We get back to those people who are the strong holders and the people that understand the fundamentals and whatever the case may be. You know, I don't really know much on Kusama, but I like this chart. It's indicating a lot of accumulation. So, you know, we're not seeing a ton of volatility. You may consider a 50% drop down volatile, but for me, not so much. When we look at the volume here, you know, we're kind of just working out the supply. The volume overall is contracting, and the price spread in the candles is also it's contracting. The volatility is decreasing in this asset, so that's kind of nice to see. We got a break of the low. This kind of probably scared quite a bit of people, but when I take a look at if I stretch this out and take a look at the volume, when you go right here to the low of the candle bodies, we had a lull in the volume, and what that's indicating is there's not really a ton of selling happening here. So the selling kind of stopped. You know, nobody was buying because it's falling, but everybody's stopped selling too. So this is kind of a tentative floor. There's 2 areas of interest that I like to there's 2 ways that I like to try find support levels. And that's usually using these kind of change of characters. So we rallied up here, we kind of consolidated below, broke up, rallied up, consolidated below, broke up. So there's these 2 levels here that I'm kind of watching out. If we break down here, you want to be keeping an eye on this level right at around $340. But the value zone on this asset is still kind of down here at around 372. So we don't necessarily have to go back down there, but I would like to see some volume come in on a final test. You know, this was showing that the supply is kind of limited in this area. There's not a lot of people willing to sell. So that's a check mark. That's a step in the right direction. But we need to kind of test this lower area and prove that demand is present. And right now we have not really done that. There's no real increase in the volume showing that there's participation occurring on the demand side. The selling has kind of subsided, but we need to get that demand to come back in. So that's kind of what I'm looking for on Kusama. What's up with this coin?
So this basically is the same blockchain as Polkadot. Same tech. It was actually a bit quicker, but effectively it was the test net of Polkadot. So projects would come into here. The way I would describe it is if you think of Polkadot as like an enterprise level blockchain, Kusama, I would say, is more like a blockchain for your everyday person to come and build on. But what's actually happening at the moment with this project is they're coming up into their parachain auctions. So this is where people will be bidding on a place, and they're going to have to buy the token and lock it up for, I believe, a 1-year period. So, you know, if you think we may go into a bear market and you've got a project with little locked tokens, to me, you know, supply and demand here, it's a good buy. The other reason I like it is I got into DOT quite early, and thought I was a freaking genius selling it at 100% gain. I probably should have let something ride on that, but I didn't. I sold out of it quite a while ago. So I just like having exposure to that whole sort of substrate blockchain space. I've got about 5% of my portfolio in Kusama. Not financial advice, people, but for me personally, having exposure to that Kusama ecosystem, I think is a good move in a diversified portfolio. So for me, just at the moment, while as I say, we're coming into this over the next month or two, people will be participating in the auction on Kusama. I think it could be something that moves quite dramatically. It's, as I say, for me, it's a long hold for me. I don't have a stop loss on it. I do sort of buy the dips occasionally. I like having exposure in a diversified portfolio to an area. Silicon Valley are all over these substrate technologies, which is DOT and Kusama. So that's kind of my take on it. I just wanted to put it on people's radars, given what is about to happen there, and I think it's a good project.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and the other one, now that we're really getting into, I wouldn't shit coinery. I think we're looking at Revv next, are we?
Yeah, you asked me to take a look at Revv, and I can only find it on KuCoin, so that kind of raised an eyebrow. But here we are.
Well, it's very much a Uniswap play. This one, I believe a lot of these projects, I think they're moving over to the Polygon network, Matic. So basically, the Revv token is the in-game utility token for F1 Delta Force, which is a Formula One game. They've just launched a MotoGP game. Now, Amoca Brands is the company behind this. They were previously listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. It's actually a company based out of Hong Kong. Look, I really like the games. NFTs in gaming were very much the flavor of the month back in March. They outperformed all the other sectors. Now we've sort of seen DeFi storm back into life, and everyone's sort of forgotten about that sector at the moment. But I think it could come back to life. I am holding it, full disclosure there. I'm not trying to pump my bags here, or maybe I am. But look, I like the games. It's one for me that gives me that exposure to the NFT space. I think they've had some teething problems. The Amoca Brands were actually accepting credit card payments for the in-game assets last time around, and I think that sort of payment system might have actually fallen over a couple of weeks ago. So there are some teething problems there, but yeah, Revv, I think I bought it at about 20 cents, enjoyed a nice little run up to about 50. I'm still holding it, so I'm still in the positive on it. But yeah, what can you tell us about the chart?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton of price data, but significant amount of demand came in on this one. So a lot of people got pretty excited. At least on KuCoin, I'm not seeing a ton of price data, but areas of interest.
Only just launched there. I think it was a recent.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably only about a month ago. So most of the volume hit on this one happens on Uniswap.
Yeah, I think I took a look at the Uniswap chart, and it was just a little gappy and kind of hard to follow. But you can trade these things anywhere. Just find a chart that kind of more or less makes sense and is somewhat in line with the price structure. What I like to do is I look for these rallies. Okay, so we have a rally, and then we have a reaction down, and then we have a breakout and a continuation. So this rally right here is an area where I want to take a look at and find confluence for it to be a support area. So I go to the top of the rally. I'll usually start out on the candle body close, and I'll open it up to the candle body wick, see how that kind of fits up with where we kind of retested before the rally, but it's also where we end up landing after the reaction. So this is kind of the support level. This is, I was mentioning this in Ethereum, how it's getting kind of extended and we haven't really built support. This is a characteristic of building support. You hit a resistance, you retrace, you break through it, you test it, you've built support. Yep. And we're seeing that reaction right here. You're seeing that we've kind of gotten a little bit of a double bottom right here, or at least. So yeah, as I was saying, we're on a retracement of around 70%. So it's pretty significant. It's kind of at that point where, this is kind of the last point. If it breaks below this point, then it's going to take a very long time to recover from that. It's kind of the equivalent of the if we do a fib retracement here, go here to here, it's basically that 786 area that we're looking at for a retracement. That's kind of the last opportunity to kind of continue to the upside. But we're getting this double bottom here. So in Wyckoff, we start drawing a trading range around this. This is kind of our automatic, our seller's climax to our automatic rally to our secondary test kind of thing that we look for. So long story short, it's kind of just we have a new trading range that's developing here. This could probably consolidate for a while. Typically, when you have a retracement down this much, it's not ready to just turn around. You need to get bullish confirmation, whether it's breaking above some of the resistance areas, breaking out some of the highs, changing the trend, because the trend is very much so a downtrend currently. So as far as somebody who's looking to make a quick buck, this one probably isn't for you. But if you are interested in the project and you're confident in the future of this coin, we're in kind of a set accumulation range. So as long as you're, this is kind of more so for the investor that likes to DCA, dollar cost average into something or do an accumulation campaign. As long as we're range bound in here, you do not have to have any sort of urgency. You can DCA into this position as long as we remain range bound. When we start to break above, well then, now you might want to think about some urgency if we start to break out some of the highs and trend back into an uptrend, because that's usually when the demand starts taking over. But yeah, it's kind of, I anticipate this one to probably take a while.
Okay. I mean, the other thing that I would sort of just, obviously we're primarily technical analysis on this show, but what I would say about the Revv token, the blockchain gaming space is something that we have covered extensively on my channel. Makes up a large portion of our content. We've been looking at the Axie Infinity project for close to a year now, and we've actually got another gaming project that we're going to be doing some work with in the very near future. I hope to announce that in the coming week or two, so stay tuned for that, people. Very exciting what we've got coming up. But what I would say about where I'm going with this is obviously the Revv token here. What I kind of like about this class of or the sector of the blockchain space is obviously it's a utility token. It's designed for you to go and purchase in-game assets. I originally bought it just as a speculative play and an investment, I suppose, much maybe more so than a trade. The reason I've kind of hung in there now is I want to actually now go and sort of purchase these in-game assets, which you then use. It's called play to earn. So you then actually earn more of the Revv token back after you've bought a motorbike or a car and you actually go and race it. You could even buy the race track. And, for me, I was attracted to this project because it's a good looking game and it's the type of game that I used to maybe play as a kid, more into the car racing type stuff than some of the other sort of blockchain games that are around at the moment. So the play to earn space, I've seen firsthand evidence of it where we've got a number of people, especially in emerging markets, Venezuela, Philippines, Brazil, that we've been giving these scholarships to, and they've been making a pretty good income. Living from this program. So I rate this sector of blockchain. I think gaming is huge. Kind of once again, not looking to shill my bags here, people, but just a little reminder of what is happening tech-wise in the space. And yeah, we'll be looking at Revv on the regular. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good point, just in regards to the gaming things, I'm not a gamer. I am not really plugged into the space, but what I like or what I typically see from gamers is they're the first movers. They're the first category of person to adopt new technology. I anticipate, Discord was kind of made by gamers, it was made by gamers, and Discord is kind of gaining popularity as a fantastic platform to just have a community. So, the gamers are always the ones that are just trying out new things and trying to figure things out. It's so anything with the gaming industry is kind of something that is worth paying attention to, because me not being a gamer, I didn't do it for a very long time. I didn't pay attention to it because I didn't understand it. But what I understand is that they understand things. So I'm
Yeah,
starting
totally.
to pay
I know you've
attention.
watched some of our content, Baloo, with Stefano and Johnny Gonzo. Stefano's just, I mean, he'd be one of the more knowledgeable guys in this entire space on blockchain gaming. So we'd love to have you on that show. I know you actually invested
I would,
in some Axie Infinity
yeah. I
assets the
got
other day.
I got some Axies. I've started breeding them. I'm wanting to get some, just figure it all out, get hands on with it. That's kind of the
Yep.
thing. When I don't understand something, I like to get hands on and like see
Mm.
it, feel it, figure out what's going on. Cause
Totally.
I can't just read a white paper and be like, oh, wow, what a good idea.
Well, I guess this is where I was sort of going with the Revv token, because, and if you got caught with your pants down in 217 or 218 and you're stuck in a token for years, I suppose the difference with these, these play to earn, these utility tokens coming out of the gaming space, you can still get a yield from these things. You buy the car with this Revv token, or Axies with the AXS token. You get in there and you play the game and you earn in-game tokens back, which you can convert to fiat, which is what these people out of the Philippines and Venezuela have been doing with our program. And as I say, they're making a really good living from it. So for me, it's fascinating to see that happening in blockchain now. And when you think that there's 2.7 billion gamers on this planet, the revenue from gaming is more than movies and music combined. So if we're creating this way that people can generate a yield from actually sitting there and playing a game, I mean, to me, that's game-changing stuff. It shows the future of so much of the application of blockchain. I'm super bullish and super excited about what I'm seeing with my own two eyes, and have done for a year now in this space. So the gaming space is certainly one to keep an eye on, people.
Yeah. And, to kind of add to that, blockchain is about democratizing the internet. It's about giving access to everybody in the world. And when you have these games that are actually providing income for people that are in areas of the world where income's kind of hard to get, not only do they have an income, but they're supporting other businesses, and they're, spreading the wealth around the world and giving opportunities to countries and nations that didn't have opportunities. And it's really exciting. Again, I'm not a gamer, but I'm really excited to see the potential in the future of what these types of products that are just games on the blockchain are going to afford the entire world. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, so what else? We're in our altcoin section here. What else you got for us?
Yeah, I've got one that looks to be heating up a little bit, and that's Balancer. So Balancer is kind of a interesting project. It's a DeFi project. It allows you to choose the percentages of the liquidity that you provide for pools. So, for anybody that's gotten hands-on with Uniswap, if you're contributing to a Uniswap pool, we'll just use the Uni ETH pair. If you're contributing to the Uni ETH pair, it's 50-50. Whereas Balancer gives you a little bit more flexibility on which pair is weighted in which way. But along with that as well, is they do offer some other stuff. I'm sure you can speak to the fundamentals a little bit more in terms of lending. Let's just get back to the setup. We are in kind of a bullish setup here. It's pretty volatile. This is a megaphone pattern, or a rising widening wedge. This is kind of something that you see as we leave an accumulation. And it's a pretty bullish pattern. We're overtaking a lot of these resistance points, and as long, we're kind of curling over here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we need to test this area down here at around probably $60. I wouldn't be shocked to see $60 tested again. But it's kind of showing that there is demand coming into this market, and there's people wanting to buy it. That's kind of the US dollar pair. I'm going to take a look at the Bitcoin pair, which, for those who are unfamiliar, when you kind of get into the later stages of the bull market, you do want to kind of pay attention to the Bitcoin pair, because the Bitcoin pair is going to kind of become more and more applicable as people stop taking profits into dollars and they start taking profits into Bitcoin.
Yep.
Which happens at the later end of the cycle. And when I'm looking at this, we kind of, sorry, it's a little messy. I've got some, we don't need to do I'll just clean it up a bit and show you the setup. We have this rising bottom here. So we're getting higher lows as we're battling with areas of resistance. So a lot of the pattern traders or any of the traders that watch your channel might think of is, we have a rising a triangle. I'm not a triangle trader. I'm not a pattern trader.
Wedge.
I'm forgetting. No, it's not a wedge. It's a triangle. Anyways, we have a sloped bottom and we have a flat top.
Yeah.
So we're working through the resistance here. And it's looking pretty bullish on the Bitcoin pair. I think if we can get a break above this level at around 12,000 Satoshis, maybe 13,000 Satoshis, it's going to probably head up to some higher levels. And there's really not a lot standing in its way as far as resistance. I've got a few targets here in the target. My highest target, guys, nothing here is financial advice. These are just targets. They don't have to be hit. It's just areas where I would be looking to take profits. The highest one's at over 100%. Now, again, I'm not saying it's going to go to 100%. I'm just saying we got targets up there. It looks good. I like what I'm seeing structurally speaking. And I think that there is potentially a nice trade here if you know how to kind of manage risk.
Yeah. Also, from a fundamental point of view, Baloo, I'm posting the show I do with Stefano and Johnny Gonzo, 1 Bitcoin and 32 Ethereum. We actually do a bit of a run through of all this class of product in the blockchain space, because I kind of think that if I look at my own behavior, other people I know, yes, probably been in the space a bit longer than many of the people watching this, but we're not exiting to fiat with the profits we're making here. What we're doing is exiting into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then looking to create a yield from those assets. And this is where the likes of a balancer come into play. So the growth of that sector for me will only get bigger and bigger as the market matures, as people understand DeFi, because we're so early. And it's going great guns at the moment. When the mass market starts using these products and realize, why the hell am I exiting my crypto profits into sticking in a bank at 1% while we're printing money? That education is still happening. People aren't quite there. It's a small amount of us that are getting this at the moment, but that's only going to get bigger. So projects like Balancer, bigger or smaller? For me, much bigger.
Yeah, the chart agrees.
Yeah.
Good. Now, one that I'm questionable on its fundamentals, but I don't discriminate. I just take a look at the charts and see what we're seeing. This is similar to what we're seeing on the EOS setup here. Is kind of we're moving above. We've got our sign of strength. Now, this is kind of a volatile part. You need to really be careful with just FOMOing into this area here. It's showing the first macro higher high, but you have to be careful. You have to be careful that the entries can be tricky in here. We can help you with entries in the jungle, but just if you don't know what you're doing, just proceed with caution, because when you're at the bottom, the downside risk is a lot, because we're so close to the bottom. As you extend up out of these accumulation ranges, the volatility increases, but it's not this close to the bottom. Like if we just head down to the top of the channel, it's a 40% decrease. I would like to see this come down. I would like to see us test maybe around $2. $2 is kind of a nice psychological even number for a lot of people to get behind. Do you know anything about Ontology? Because
I'm afraid I don't. I can literally rattle off most of the projects. I'm just not familiar with this one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, this one had a lot of hype last cycle. I didn't pay attention to what they were selling back then. And I could probably just crack open the website and see what's going on.
Let's have a look at it right now.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's see how many buzzwords they got on the website.
Oh, God.
Why is everybody getting excited? This is often, this is the extent of my fundamental analysis often is just open up the website. You know, I like to get hands-on with stuff. I like to touch. I like to see. I like to feel. So
well, they're off
see
to a
what they're saying.
flyer. Trust redefined.
Yeah, you know,
I'm sold.
just
I'm
for
in.
those who are new, blockchain is trust redefined. So don't get too giddy when you see this kind of stuff, because it's just blockchain is trust redefined.
Correct.
A blockchain for self-sovereign ID and data. Okay, so they're leaning into identification. That's not a new thing. And honestly, like you can do that with Ethereum, in my opinion. But hey, you know, they're just marketing themselves that way. Ontology ID, DDXF is a decentralized data exchange. Yeah, so I don't know. Self-sovereign data wallet, Saga. For me, fundamentally, there's not much here on the surface. You know, if I dig a little deeper and I find something that's a little more exciting and a little more unique, then I might kind of get excited. But you know, I look at these things and just ask, does it need its own like does it need to market itself as something unique when blockchain and programmable money and smart contracts can effectively do the exact same thing? It's just, oh, you have to use Ontology. Well, no, you don't. You can, you know, you can make your identity into an NFT and carry it in your Ethereum wallet. So yeah, I think this one's kind of just, you know, the get in with the hype. But for me, at least on that, you know, 1 minute, that 60-second fundamental analysis I just did, I don't see much. Why don't you guys let us know how wrong we are in the comments, as I'm sure we'll have a few.
Yeah, I'll have more of a dig into it over the next week as well, if the price keeps going up. I mean, so effectively what we're hearing is the chart's looking good on this for trade.
Yeah.
If it keeps moving, then well, I'll get back to you with some more fundamentals on it. I know identity on the blockchain is something that's been touted so as long as I've been in the space. There's not been a really clear winner, which would concern me that all of a sudden we've supposedly got one.
And I just can't wrap my head around why it has to be a unique coin. You know, I hear it all the time. Oh, we have this identity thing. Like, well, that just sounds like, you know, a wallet address. Like a wallet address could be my identity. I could register my wallet address. It's like, here's my, or an NFT. So, you know, I'm not convinced. But
anyway, sorry to the Ontology fans out there listening to us say this, but we are telling you your chart looks great.
Yeah, the chart looks great. Number go up. Not financial advice. But and please, you know, I am all ears. I am all ears to hear what's unique about the project. You know, I'm not one that's going to put up a battle on something being presented to me if it's legitimate.
It's tricky, isn't it? I mean, obviously you approach this market, but you know, primarily from a TA point of view. I'm very much the you know, the fundamentals. I mean, I love the TA as well, obviously, but man, I mean, we've got over 7,000 coins.
Oh yeah.
And you get quite cynical as well.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of ideas come and go. And, you know, for me, I'll start with the chart. So this is where I start to pay attention. The sign of strength, you know, analyze, get a feel as to what's going on. I don't really start paying attention until we start to leave the trading range. Then when we leave the trading range, I'll go read a white paper. And that gets a lot of the reading out of the way. It gets a lot of, you know, filtering through all of this stuff to try and make heads or tails as to what's going on, completely out of the way, so that I can focus on what is actually, you know, speaking to me, what the market is telling me is happening. You know, when the market is making the price go up, the market is telling me, hey, this thing has value. Well, why? And then I'll go and take a look. Yeah,
absolutely.
Speaking of the market and the chart telling me something has value, Shiba.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think I mentioned in the other show there that I shorted Shiba. And the reason that I decided to do that, it was a risky play and I got stopped out. So, you know, it is what it is. Shout out to the Shiba crowd out there that's laughing for me getting stopped out. But I'll tell you exactly why I did it. The reason I did it is because of the introduction of futures contracts on Shiba. This is an opportunity for whales to cover their positions. And I'll show you exactly what a cover looks like. So if we have a consolidation, which we do, okay, we'll just throw a range around the consolidation. We have an area of a breakout and we have an area of invalidation. If we go above this level, there's a continuation likely. If we go below this level, there's a downside continuation likely. So what a whale will do when the derivatives have been released is they'll do what's called a cover. Oh, and I didn't make my cover here. Let me just quickly name this. We'll make it a little bit bigger and I'll name it cover. So, Binance and other, I think FTX as well, they released perpetual futures on Shiba, which gives opportunities both long and short. Shiba, whales made a ton of money, like an obscene amount of money in this one. I think from the bottom to the all-time high is, like 3,000%. And I think there's even more. Yeah, there's more because they were buying it down here. Just a ludicrous 38,000%. So just obscene. Those whales, they can't sell. They can't just take all of their tokens and sell. The retail trader, you actually have quite a bit of an advantage because you are able to jump in and out of the market without being noticed whatsoever. If the whale decides to sell $1 million of their multi-million-dollar stack of Shiba, they move the market. They need to not sell as we approach support levels. They can only sell into strength. So it has to pump for them to be able to sell. That leaves them in kind of a problem because they have all this money and they can't do anything with it. In comes the futures market. Now you can cover. So what it allows them to do is they're able to sell smaller amounts, let's say 1 or 2 or 5%, depending on the size of the whale. And then they can take that and they can leverage it into a futures contract where we're in a hot and frothy market and everybody wants to long Shiba. There's always another trader on the other side of the trade. And that's often the whale. So if they sell 5% and then they go 5x short, they effectively protect 25% of their position and neutralize it. It's the same as cashing out. It's the same as locking in that price. And then what they do is, they have maybe a stop loss on Shiba, and again, they can't sell everything. So they might just kind of stop loss a bit. I don't even know. I'm not a Shiba whale, so I'm not having these issues. But, they might have a stop here and then they might have a stop on their short up here. So effectively at the price of the cover, if the price is 3,17947, these micro supply or these macro supply coins are ridiculous. This price is locked in. The whale doesn't care. It can go up, it can go down. That price is locked in. So that's why I decided to short Shiba, because I'm just trying to trade alongside the whales. So these whales are going to be, flooding the market with a little bit of supply, selling some of those positions so that they have the opportunity to just lock in the price because they cannot sell. That's what's crazy about being a whale is, you think, oh, lucky them, they can move the market. Yeah, they can dump it and it can crash and it can trade to zero and all their money goes away. So, trying to kind of understand this stuff can really help you as an investor to prevent a lot of FOMO from coming in, understanding what these markets are for and what these tools are for. A lot of people think that leverage is just the opportunity to get more money. And it's not. It's not just an opportunity to get more money. You can hedge, you can protect, you can lock in prices. It's a way for you to kind of control the ebbs and flows that's very applicable to the large holders, because if a Shiba whale decides to dump, it will trade hard down. And they don't want that any more than you want that. They want to lock in some prices. So they do that with shorts.
Very good. And I think we're rounding off today with your crazy shitcoin story here.
Yeah. Yes. We can. So
Shiba wasn't good enough for you, people. We've got
yeah. So the thing about these coins is you kind of need to get in early. There's no fundamentals on Shiba. the whole thing with these is like, Safe Moon, Shiba, it's like a deflationary thing, which, that's not sustainable at all. You can't just have a token that punishes people for selling it. There's no value in that whatsoever. But people are like, oh, well, you just have to be diamond hands. You just hold it and number go up. And, that only goes on for so long, but there's a huge appetite for it in the space right now. And I'm not going to ignore that appetite. So I took a position. I don't even know if I want to say it, but guys, it did a multiple. Don't buy it. Do not buy it. Go find something else. I'm telling you, just ignore it. But I bought this stupid Donald coin. Okay. And, I put in a BNB and it's at like 25 BNB right now. This is just how crazy the market is. And out of anything that I've seen in the market,
sorry, you
thus
put in
far,
one BNB is worth 25 now.
Yes.
Lord
and I don't
God,
want,
what period of time?
I don't even want to say 24 hours. So that's how crazy the space is right now. It's a red flag. It's a red flag. Yeah. Okay. I'm happy and, I'm taking profits.
So, you a Donald whale. Is that what you're saying?
I am a Donald whale. Stay the hell away because I will dump on you. It's silly though. It's silly. Yeah. Like I'm grateful and I'm happy, with the outcome, but it's also a huge red flag. It's a huge red flag of where we potentially are short term. And that's just people throwing money into things without anything behind it, any thought, any follow through, anything. And that's a characteristic of the mania phase. And the mania phase, for those who are unfamiliar, is when you're getting close to the end. So I'm really struggling with, that reality and trying to hedge positions, trying to, limit risk, limit exposure, limit leverage, and prepare for possible downside moves because the space is getting really crazy and it's not making sense. And I've seen all of this before. I've seen it all before. And it's very typical characteristics that occurs near top. Whether we're at the top or whether we just need a very healthy correction that slaps all these degenerates in the face and tells them, hey, this is not how it works. This is not where the value is. I think that, the sustainability aspect of this is kind of questionable. So, that's my degen story with warning.
Okay. Yeah, no, very good advice. Picking the top, that will become a central point of conversation in the near future potentially. I still think we've got some ways to go. I think that chart I brought up earlier. I feel I kind of just gut feeling here, and having been through it before. Yes, you're right. We're coming into the mania phase, and I would expect when full mania hits, we'll see a doubling in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it'll happen in a flash too. So tread carefully, people. We hope we've imparted some knowledge for you today. Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you all back here very soon. Baloo, thank you again, Sharon. Can you just remind the people the days that you stream live on your channel? We'll put a link below.
Check out the links below. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern. First half of the show is just the market update, things that I'm seeing, trying to figure out what's going on with the market, which is becoming harder. Things aren't making sense. But along with that, as well as the second half of the show where I do coin requests. Come see what I do, and we'll see you in the chat.
Yeah, excellent. Check this guy out, everybody. I know all the people that I've had feedback from been really impressed with your group. I follow your channel. It's awesome information. You're not a hype man like has been shoved in everyone's faces out there.
I am the antidote to hype. So, if you're tired of YouTubers telling you to buy everything, then I can help because you need to have a little bit of both. You need to follow the action and the hype, but you also need to stay grounded. And, I am not here to pump bags and tell you like this is going to do this, and it just is just you need a healthy dose. You need balance. I can help balance you out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I really enjoy your content. It's a real pleasure to have you on this channel on the weekly as well, Baloo. I know the guys would love to have you on for a chat on the Axie Infinity now that you've got a team there. Talk a few fundamentals with us as well.
Yeah.
You're welcome anytime. Okay, excellent. Thank you all for watching, everybody. Check out Baloo's links there below. Strongly encourage you to subscribe to his channel and check out the Crypto Jungle. And we'll see you all back here for, I believe, we've got your friend Leanne on with us tomorrow, Baloo and Jesse. So tune in for that,
Beautiful.
people. Yeah. And we'll see you all very soon. Thanks very much.